I am a wood elf now.
Oh, is that what you picked?
Yes, Mortha.
Mortha, huh?
Mortha. Mourtha.
Nice.
Which is still...
You didn't go with the cat people.
No, not yet. That's going to be my next...
I'm just very curious
next
to see
through.
how racist they get towards the cat people.
Yeah,
because I've heard that too. I've heard in Skyrim that if you play as a cat person, it's like almost every other person has some derogatory thing to say to you or about you.
Yeah, and I kind of regret, like, don't get me wrong, the being a wood elf is awesome. They have some of the best
Wood
racial traits.
Yeah, you read them off to me, and they were pretty sweet.
But, so next file, which I don't even know when next file will show up, because that could mean I'm level, 87 with this one, or it could mean I got to level 20, said, screw it, I want to start over again.
Right.
And then I will eventually go back to this one.
It'll happen.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's going to be fun. I will play a Kaiji next time I play. Skyrim, still fun as all hell.
That'll be fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Geek Yogurt Podcast. I am Knock.
Wood elf.
I'm
Wade.
And I'm Sam. And today, Deadpool trailer finally got released.
Yeah. And
I gotta say, coming from a person who's not a big Deadpool fan, it looks pretty good. For being a Deadpool movie done by Fox, this had a lot of chances to look like shit.
Okay, I will say, nobody wanted to hate this movie as much as I did.
Right.
Nobody wanted to hate this movie as much as I did. I should clarify, as far as my feelings on this, I have liked exactly one superhero movie that Fox has put out, and that was X-Men First Class. I thought that was awesome. Age of Apocalypse was meh at best.
Or you mean Futures Past.
Yeah, Futures Past, sorry. Futures Past was alright. Like, I don't really have any complaints with it.
Yeah, it was fine.
It just didn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
So that was already a strike was, oh yay, Fox is doing another superhero movie.
And it's Deadpool, which the last time Fox did Deadpool,
yeah, we all
remember.
We all wish we could forget.
Yeah, right.
But, and then on top of that, Marvel kind of played against me with Deadpool because when I got back into comics, Deadpool is one of the things that that helped get me back in. I started with Merc with a Mouth, read Daniel Way stuff, read Deadpool Core, Prelude to Deadpool Core. I read Deadpool Team Up, and that was a lot of Deadpool at the time. That was awesome because that's what got me in.
And you were not prepared for the deluge that was about to happen.
Yeah, because there was a bit of a lull after most of those got canceled. With Marvel Now, I was not a huge fan of Marvel Now Deadpool. It was alright. They did a lot of stuff that I personally didn't like saying that one of the voice boxes was actually this other supervillain from the 19 whatevers and blah, blah, blah.
It just got really convoluted.
Yeah, it felt like they were just trying to be like, see, we're different from Daniel Way. It's like, you could have just built on what he did.
Yeah.
And then between that, where it was every fucking month, it was Deadpool versus Carnage, The Walking Deadpool, Deadpool Illustrated, Deadpool this, Deadpool.
Right,
it's like it was just way too much. I got Deadpool fatigued, and
it just felt like
I dropped the book.
How much stuff can we just cram Deadpool in just to have?
And let me say, I don't want to completely shit on that creative team because they weren't doing a bad job. They had a lot of good stuff. I loved Good, Bad, and the Ugly, and I know that might seem weird coming from me because it was a lot darker, it was a lot more serious, but they definitely got a lot of things right about Deadpool and the way people interact with him, especially when he showed up to talk to Cap, and Cap didn't treat him like a pariah, what was the word?
Pariah?
Pariah, thank you. Like a pariah. Cap was like, yeah, soldier, okay, let's talk about this. Yeah, I'm fighting Hydra, but this is what we do.
Yeah, I think there's a misconception that gets thrown around with you, Wave, that you don't like any dark stuff. But it's just because there's such a contrast between Raw and you.
Yeah.
It makes it seem like that.
I do like my dark stuff. I do read a lot of dark stuff. The problem is, dark is the new normal in comics. From what I have seen, from my standpoint and my exposure, dark is the new normal. And you have to remember, I got back into comics right at the beginning of Fear itself. Mm-hmm. And Flashpoint was about that time, too.
Which is pretty fucking dark.
Yeah, it was dark. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I also, I know I'm in the minority, but I also did enjoy Fear itself, even though it was dark and depressing. And
Yeah.
God, I was depressed when I put
Fear
that
itself seems to be pretty divisive. I feel like there's a lot of people that get split down the middle. Or you like it or you don't.
But the stuff that came out after, like Shattered Heroes, it just wore me down.
Yeah.
And looking around and seeing, well, especially at the movies, again, I love the Nolan-verse movies.
Yeah.
But it was still more just dark and depressing. I liked Watchmen. Again, though, it's a dark, serious, heavy
Right.
movie.
We don't need
Yeah.
all of that all the time.
Yeah, and that's why I latch on to stuff like one of my favorite comics I'm reading right now, Gem and the Holograms.
Right.
How is that?
It is phenomenal.
Okay.
And it is everything you want. This is what they should be doing for the movie. Not, oh my God, not that horrid. Oh, did you see that trailer?
No, I haven't.
I
It's
know.
bad.
I know. I'm
It's
a little. This happened a while ago. I believe we talked about it when it first came out.
Yeah,
but,
we touched upon it, but
whew,
it's
that was not Gemtastic.
Talk about bad adaptations. This is like X-Men Origins Wolverine Deadpool bad adaptation.
Yeah.
It's like that level of just no respect for these fucking characters.
Well, I mean, they locked out the original creator.
Yeah.
Had an all-male creative team working on this.
Yeah.
It's like, this is Gem.
Yeah.
This is Gem. You can't just have a bunch of dudes sitting around. And personally, I like the director. He got a lot of favor from me with G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Yeah.
I mean, that was phenomenal.
Oh my God, I forgot
But,
he was
yeah.
the same guy doing that.
That's because Gem works with a lot more with the rest of his
That's
credits.
true.
But apparently, he is a gigantic G.I. Joe fan.
He's a product of the 80s.
He was one of the kids that had a sister that played with Gem, and he had G.I. Joes, and they sometimes met in the middle for a little cocktail party.
Yeah, right.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'd be lying if I said that, my sister and I, we didn't own Polly Pocket and Mighty Max.
Oh my God,
And
yes.
Polly Pocket Mighty Max was like half the size of Polly Pocket.
Pocket,
I want
yeah.
that noted.
Yeah, that's
why
true.
most of my pieces got lost. Round Top Park in Endicott
God. Oh,
has like 5 Mighty Maxes buried somewhere in that sand.
I'm sure. Mighty Max, those pieces got lost. Even when you closed them up, they were so small, they would just fall out of like... I had one that was like an island, and when you closed it up, it was like a dragon head or something.
Yeah.
And they would always fall out of the eye holes, because, they're tiny as shit. Yeah.
You remember the cartoon?
Oh, yeah, that was a great cartoon.
I only had one season, or half a season.
But still, it was great. And that cartoon is the reason why I'm still obsessed with where the Prime Meridian meets the equator because of the episode of The Island of 00, which sank. And I love how they took a moment at the end to explain that that's why there's no island there on a map right now. It's because it sank.
It sank. Brilliant. But back to Deadpool.
Back to Deadpool. Deadpool.
You know when
when
I first watched the trailer, I was like,
Wait, which one? Are you talking about the leaked footage that came out
no,
6 months ago?
I waited entirely until this Red Band trailer that premiered last night on Conan.
Yeah.
I had read up on the Comic-Con trailers, so I knew a little bit what to expect, but I didn't watch any of the leaked footage or anything. So when I finally watched it, I was like, it was kind of a shrug, but I watched it a few more times after that, and it started to really pop with me, and I think most of it is the charm that this is clearly Ryan Reynolds' passion project.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm incredibly happy and incredibly proud that he's able to make it the way he wanted to, and that it doesn't look like a disaster. Will it be good? I don't know. It's hard. It's going to be hard to sustain that for 90 plus minutes.
Well,
but if they pull it off, it could be really cool. It could be the perfect balance of humor and nitty gritty comic book action. But it's colorful. It's actually colorful.
And I think we're in for the first maybe quarter to third of the movie. Yeah. I think we're in for more of that serious gritty action.
Well, yeah, it seems like a lot of.
But that's what's going to work is because we're going to have all that basis that's essentially like a G.I. Joe. Like a G.I. Joe or Nolan-verse type movie where, you have this more realistic action, all that.
Grounded.
With a badass, doing everything.
Yeah.
And then we get hit with the cancer, and then after Department H gets done.
I hope it just goes full on balls to the wall.
But, I mean, my favorite moment in the trailer is when he's getting wheeled in for the operation. And he makes the comment about, if I have a super suit, don't make it green.
Yeah.
And don't make it animated.
Don't make it animated, yeah.
Wonderful shot at the Green Lantern movie.
Yeah.
And it shows that they're gonna break the fourth wall a little bit.
Yeah.
They're gonna have some fun with
Well,
this.
I hate ads for ads. They're doing this thing now where they do a teaser for the trailer.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that came out?
But I
Monday?
gotta be honest, the teaser for the trailer in this was pretty hilarious. It had Deadpool sitting in his chair, and he's giving this narration, and he mentions, he's like, from the same studio that sewed my fucking mouth shut last time. It's meta stuff like that that it really touches upon, that everyone's aware of the complaints going into this movie.
And can I just say how happy I am to see Blind Al and Weasel. Both of them are in this, and Blind Al, spot on.
Yeah.
She looks like Blind.
That was like old people shit in here. Sounds like you got a dick in your mouth.
Yeah, and that is right. That is fucking Blind Al right there. She is the best prisoner friend that Deadpool ever had.
Besides Weasel.
He wasn't a prisoner friend. He was just a lackey.
Yeah, I don't know too
Oh,
much.
you know what? I want to see Hydra Bob in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's one problem with that.
What?
The Hydra part.
Oh, they can't because Fox doesn't
yeah.
own Hydra. Yeah,
They could just have some guy in a green suit called Bob.
Wasn't
they
there?
could.
Wasn't there an offset of Hydra?
No.
Could they do the Serpent Society?
No,
They can't do that?
They don't have access.
They don't
to
have any of that.
They have exactly one member of the Serpent Society, and I am still pissed about that.
That they used in the Wolverine.
In the Wolverine, Viper.
Viper, yeah.
And I want Viper as Madam Hydra. I want Viper leading.
I still have yet to
Serpent
see
Society.
the Wolverine.
Yeah, sorry, and I will not go on that rant again. Did that way too much when that movie was coming out.
The real question is now, will this movie do well, box office wise?
I think with all the Deadpool fans that have emerged, not just comic book fans, but the Deadpool heads that have emerged from the amount
Headpools?
the Headpools that have come out. I think it will do good.
I think it'll do well enough.
Well, you'll have the Ryan Reynolds fans, you'll have the Deadpool comic fans, you'll have the Deadpool merchandise fans.
Yeah.
You'll have the people that will go see any superhero movie because they're out there, especially.
They are out there. They're the same people that don't realize there's a difference between having a Marvel banner and actually being a part of the MCU.
Right. But yeah, I think it will do well, and I think it will deserve to do well. I will be a little sad if it does, and that's only because this is nothing against the movie. That's only because that's going to reinforce to Fox, hey, we have something that can keep making money.
Right. And
I
they'll
won't
actually push out Deadpool a little more, and it will cause more of.
Here's the thing with that. I think I wouldn't be surprised if this movie doesn't do well. I won't be surprised, but I want it to, for a few reasons. A, because I give all the credit to Ryan Reynolds for getting this thing made.
And he needs a win.
He deserves this. I'm not a huge Ryan Reynolds fan, but he totally deserves it.
Oh, yeah.
And if this movie's successful, I feel like that just gives Hollywood and Fox a little nudge to say, hey, you guys can take some risks with these superhero properties. You can do newer, fun stuff. It doesn't always have to be, Bryan Singer's vision. I don't mean to hate on Bryan Singer, but Fox just seems like WB. Fox has took Singer's vision and just continued it through all their stuff. Just like WB has took Nolan's aesthetic and are just hammering it in through all their stuff. And I think if this movie's successful, we maybe will get cooler stuff, maybe more stuff like Deadpool. And that's what side characters that are weird and gritty, that aren't just pandering to. I don't mean pandering, but that aren't just catered to family popcorn.
Right. So okay, final thoughts on Deadpool.
I hope that it works out. It looks better than I thought. I hope that it could strike the right balance and sustain a 90-minute movie. I think it'll be a fun. February is a slow month. I think it'll be fun. We'll see where it goes.
As much as I wanted to hate it, you know what? That trailer was fucking amazing. And I may just end up liking two superhero movies by Fox.
Yeah, that'd be
I'll have
crazy.
2 on my shelf.
That'd be crazy.
Ooh.
I mean, the humor, some of it didn't work for me, but there was some
It
stuff
felt like Deadpool humor.
Yeah, that's the thing. And again, like Deadpool humor, it runs the gamut for me. Some of it's like really juvenile and I can't take it. Some of it's really funny, like the you might be wondering why I'm wearing red. It's so people can't see me bleed. This guy's got the right idea. He wore brown pants, and it like takes a second, and you're like, because he's gonna shit himself once he's dead. It's great.
Well, that
fucking great,
relates back to an old joke about a sea captain and
right.
fish
Yeah, I know what
baby
you're talking
that
about.
we're not getting into now.
Yeah. So yeah, Knock, what do you think?
I think it's great. I watched the trailer 6 times as of now.
Yeah.
And I laugh every
Almost
time.
as much as I watched the Laser Team trailer.
I see a lot of inspiration from the different writers, but Daniel White mostly, and that's
which is the good part.
That's the book that I started on, so I'm very happy and I'm very excited to see this.
Yeah.
The only comic book movie that I'm actually excited to see. So
yeah.
All right, we have to do actual work, so we're gonna get out of here. That's it. I'm Wave.
Tom.
and